All right, time for the Unfiltered News Wrap of the day. Thanks for checking in with us. So, I want to wrap for a moment or two about the First Amendment here, in large part because of the complete bastardization of it by the radical left. Let's look at what happened on Sunday in the church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Don Lemon and his cadre of lunatics goes in there and disrupts a group of peaceful people praying to Jesus, praying to God for a way out of the hellhole that their town has become, that their community has become because of the radicals who have decided that protecting murderers and rapists and child molesters and drug traffickers and human traffickers and terrorists, protecting them is the highest priority that they have. Let's stop law enforcement from catching those people. We want them in our community. The people are there praying for an end to this. And what does Don Lemon and his crew do? They go in there and they start chanting and they start disrupting. And Don Lemon then accosts the pastor of the church, who says, "Get out of here. This is an abomination. You're interrupting a service, a holy church service. You can't do this." And Don Lemon has the nerve to stand there and pretend he knows what's in the Constitution, to pretend that he knows what's in the First Amendment. He said, these people here have the freedom of speech and expression. They can say whatever they want. And I have the freedom of the press. I'm here committing an act of journalism. You can't tell us to get out of here. And it's equal parts hilarious and infuriating that he doesn't know that in the course of practicing his own freedom of speech and freedom of the press and so forth, he's denying the other elements of the First Amendment from those parishioners, from those worshipers, because it's the first part of the First Amendment, freedom of religion. The free exercise of religion shall not be abridged. It shall not be taken away. And that's what they did. They took away their right to practice their religion freely in that moment. And the other part of the First Amendment that is relevant here too, the last two elements of the 5-part First Amendment, the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for the redress of grievances. If you've got grievances, go to the city hall, go to the mayor's office, or go to your member of Congress's office. You want to ask for the redress of your grievances, go right ahead. You don't do it in the streets, and you don't block and interrupt law enforcement operations to do that, which of course brings us to the peaceable assembly part. There is nothing peaceful about what those people are doing. If they were standing off to the side on street sidewalks, holding signs saying no ice, and we're not getting in the way, that's one thing. That's peaceable assembly. But when you insert yourselves into the law enforcement operations and you get in the way of the officers and you obstruct them and you surround them and you intimidate them and you crowd up on them, forcing reactions from them, you are not peaceful. You are now creating violence. So if you want to claim First Amendment rights because you're speaking, then you better respect all of the First Amendment elements. You better respect the people's right to religion. You better respect the part that says you must be peaceable or peaceful in your assembly. And if you really want to petition the government for a redress of your grievances, go find the government. Don't find an agent who is simply practicing law. He is literally not practicing law. That's what lawyers do. He is enforcing the law. Because I've got news for you. A few thousand of you idiots in every little left-wing blue city around the country does not compare to the 77 million of us who last November, or in November of 2024, heard Donald Trump campaigning on a promise of securing the border and starting the largest deportation in American history of illegal aliens. 77 million of us heard that and said, "I'm in, let's go. Check that box. That's what we want." And all these agents are doing is what the law requires them to do. Congress passes the laws. The agents carry out the laws. President Trump orders them to carry out those laws. Why are you targeting these agents? So before you start wrapping yourself in the flag and the First Amendment of a Constitution that you know nothing about, Don Lemon and radical lunatic leftists, study up a little bit. And understand, you are not on the right side of history here. You're not on the right side of the Constitution. You're on the wrong side, as you always are. That's the Unfiltered News Wrap today. We'll see you tomorrow.